was not pretty.
No.
It was a very, very short and very painful game to watch. Team Liquid, as much as I like the players and the team, they didn't really succeed in nothing that they were trying to do.
You know why they didn't succeed?
Don't.
Because Dignitas is really, really good, just like I said. I'm just saying.
It's like Dignitas had, I think, the inferior composition, but they just are the better team in this first game. It looks like that.
Oh,
how many feeds did we see in that first in the one of the biggest maps, one of the hardest rotation maps to actually rotate and get kills on? They were getting kills and getting picks.
Guys, my dilemma was solved. I had to decide Tyrael or Dignitas. I'm sorry, Dignitas. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. All right, just calm down. It'll be fine.
I didn't see inferior composition. I thought that they had a great composition. They protected it well. I can't wait to show you that last replay.
It was
Show me.
It was a lot of comfort, to be
Yeah.
honest.
All right, Jay Howe, take us through replay.
Well, let's talk about replay number 1, Kendrick, because right now, let's just pause right now, because early we're trying to take a boss is Team Liquid, but on the mini-map, Zagara way down there, Tyrael decided he's going to abandon. They needed to close. 10 was very close, not quite there, but we're going to see the aggression come in as Dignitas. They're coming in, looking for a kill, and there's a certain person named Mene on Kel'Thas who gets the double gravity laps. Shad's trying to get out of there. Gerd's in trouble, and then you have JPL once again. Just run it back. This is my JPL appreciation day because he does so much. He realizes Gerdum's going to go. He's already dwarf tossing, looking for Greymane as he goes, and he's just waiting to use that Storm Bolt. We're in the back. I'm looking at Kalaris, and I'm like, yeah, he's dead. And he goes, and he's just going to chase him, wait for that cooldown. That's going to go. But this is the early aggression we talked about from Dignitas. They controlled the game from the very beginning. We saw they almost got the pick in the very first minute, and they were able to get the kill there, take down one, and at this point, it's 10-8, almost a 2-level lead, and they did not let go.
Yeah. The funny thing is that even at that boss, they could technically finish with that boss in the way that the levels lined up. But obviously, you were mentioning as well that they didn't particularly want to risk it. They know that they could finish with it, but there's no reason to risk it in that situation when their opponents, don't have 10, but there could be some freak accident.
And Team Liquid overall looked very uncoordinated. They ran around like a couple of chickens almost because they weren't working together. There was a boss in the bottom half of the map. Dignitas was already on it. And guess what? One after the other, Team Liquid tried to interfere, but they didn't work as a 5-man unit, guys.
Yeah, it's what I like to call the trickle effect. One person goes to check, the next person's there, you get the third person going there as well. It just kind of goes in one by one, and if you actually try to fight like that, you're just going to feed one after the other. If you don't, if you back off, then they get the boss. That first boss in that first replay you had, I feel like, they wanted to try to do two things at once. They wanted to soak and pull everyone away so they could get that soak, but they stayed on the boss. They didn't leave it, and they all died, and I think that was just a decision-making mistake overall.
It was tough, man. I mean, it was they probably didn't expect because they saw Zagara in that bottom lane. I thought that they thought that they might have had it, but then Tyrael left, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and you can actually keep talking, JL, because there's another replay to be seen.
Another one. All right, so we're going to take a look, and this is a play that almost worked out as Shad comes in. He goes in, and right on top of him is Tyrael. We'll go ahead and pause it because I want to talk about group composition just a little bit because who's over here? That is Li Ming. That's where the damage comes in, and on the backside, Chris is here. It seems like their damage is split. We talk about the burst potential between both of those heroes. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to take it down, and being rooted there by Alex, he stays on there. And look, Arthas is 1v1ing Li Ming on the backside. I mean, we could almost run that back, but Greymane got taken down the minute that came through. It's just action going on both sides in group composition. Yes, they were a talent tier down. Yes, they were 3 levels down, but all it took was a little bit of coordination on Dignitas' side. I love their group composition. You can see, boom, right there. Going down, and this was the beginning of the end as they went in and took the game.
I'll let you go first.
It really felt like the damage from Team Liquid was a little bit disjointed overall. I mean, like Chris putting pressure on Snitch and Mene alone isn't gonna work. It should be focused elsewhere with the Li Ming to try and even deal some damage to people that are in the mosh pit maybe, or Li Ming should be helping out Chris at the front to try and do some damage there, making it 2-on-2, but Chris just doing what he wants elsewhere.
Greymane does a lot of damage, but he's almost like a finisher. I talked about that. He always needs somebody to do a little bit of damage so he can finish the job, and it's very quick when he does it. But they were split, and I thought that was a big mistake there.
And I think you could see the reactions towards the end of the game here coming in from Get 'em Head, for example. He was just shaking his head, and I think they know that nothing worked here. So there is no point of actually blaming an individual player here. I think it was just overall the lack of team synergy that created this loss for Team Liquid. But now that we move on to the second battleground, that is of course going to be Infernal Shrines. The cards will be shuffled anew, and Team Liquid, they lost the first map against Insanity in the group stage as well. And guess what? They came back 2-1.
This is the first time in a while we actually see Kerrigan make it through the ban phase. She will still be available, and this is something that Dignitas used in their previous series. And if ETC is taken here for Liquid, obviously he's a very powerful hero on this map, but we may see Kerrigan into the Tassadar here for Dignitas.
They weren't afraid to first pick it either.
Yeah.
I mean, they came right out guns blazing, and they said, we're taking Kerrigan and we're going to win with it, and they did just that. So I fully agree with you, Wolf. I think this is a bit of a mistake to not ban it out. I mean, this is such a strong hero.
Ooh, with Kael'Thas and not Tassadar even.
Well, they don't need any more damage, boys.
I feel that lends to another double warrior comp. I mean, we see, I think we've seen Diablo. I'm trying to see if they might have played Diablo. I really feel anything's on the board.
And you can already see what this Kerrigan pick actually does to Team Liquid, because I'm not sure if they wanted to pick that Tassadar, but they are now forced to do it, because otherwise you will have the deadly shield combo, but they might actually switch their minds.
Even if they take Greymane here, they can still take Tassadar with him. It pairs really well.
Yep.
I think they do need to take the Tassadar away, personally. If they don't do it, I think it's a big mistake.
I'm putting this out here, and if it doesn't get picked, this is the last time I'm saying it while I'm in Europe. Zul. Can I have one Zul pick on Infernal Shrines?
No, it's not. There's no special order for that here. You have to go to, I don't know, In-N-Out Burger. That's American, right? Like
West Coast American, yes.
He does have a pretty low pick rate overall, as you can see on these stats on the screen here, but I think he's a great choice, and I do agree he's been quite neglected, but the Tassadar pick is just by far superior here. It works well with Greymane. They could have just waited to the second ban phase, but taking him here, I think is the better option because it gives him a more flexible secondary ban, and also it pairs well with the Greymane.
I'm just really curious if Dignitas feels comfortable enough to go with a solo warrior and then go with Sylvanas to maybe pair and get push, because they already know that they've got a really good blanket security on the shrine if they execute.
So they feel comfortable with a solo warrior with Kerrigan. They would go Arthas, which is why I would like to see Team Liquid ban out Arthas, but at the same time there's still lots of warriors available. Yeah. So it's not exactly the easiest thing to try and choke out, as it were.
Now, history does say that this is something that they do like to run on this. They took down My Insanity with a similar comp of Tassadar Greymane, but they also had Diablo, not ETC. But they do feel comfortable with Tassadar Greymane, especially on this map, and maybe they feel like they can repeat that the same result that they had against My Insanity.
Now, we've been talking a lot about supports when it comes to Kerrigan. Tassadar now, of course, being taken away by Team Liquid. Is there any other support hero that works extremely well with that Kerrigan?
I think basically all three common meta supports work well with Kerrigan.
Do much wrong here, right?
Yeah.
I don't think a ban of a support here could be what we see from Dignitas. I don't think it would be a bad choice and be out of the ordinary 2 ban of Nubarak here as well. Or just a really strong range damage dealer. Falstad's off the table already. Kael'Thas is off the table. The Tyrael ban here is also, it makes good sense. It's another one of those secondary warriors. I was thinking more of the Nubarak, but it pairs well with Greymane. And they already showed it in the previous game that they built compositions like this.
You can't do wrong with this either. I mean, if they, for example, said, we want to ban, say, something like an Uther, then, I mean, they were then removing invulnerability. They could take the opposite one and then just make sure that ETC doesn't have any invulnerability at all when a mosh pit comes to play. And Arthas will be the ban because that would have been their solo warrior of choice here. But, well, let's see where they go.
Also, think of all the Syndragosas that we've seen today. I mean, disabling the structures has done so much work, Wolf.
Yeah, and it also really pairs well with Kerrigan. If you can actually get the Syndragosa off, then it allows Kerrigan to hit combo after combo after combo as everyone is slowed and stuck together there. This is going to allow the Anubarak pick to come in, and
they're comfortable with it.
For what it's worth, I think Team Liquid did do a little bit of their homework because Arthas was something that they ran on this before with Kerrigan.
Yeah, exactly. Just in the last series. So it's a smart ban. I'm wanting to see a specialist on the side of Dignitas with this as well, though, because they do have Kerrigan and she can clear very quickly on the Shrine, but she's not the best wave clear hero on this map. And I would love to see Sylvanas here, to be honest.
I think you meant Nazebo.
I would like a second warrior after this Rehgar, personally, on the side of Team Dignitas, but it doesn't really work too well with who plays what. So they're kind of waiting to see what Snitch is going to be playing, basically.
The Shona on.
I'm like, wait, what is he pointing at?
Is this 3K MMR world? Is this where we're at?
Whoa. I can't even do the... There we go.
There you go. I did it for you.
God, my mouth is so dry. That was terrible. And this is also what they've run on here. This is almost identical to what they like to run on Infernal Shrines. Tychus was the other hero that they picked going against My Insanity. Karazim, outside of ETC, they ran Diablo. This is the exact same composition that they ran against My Insanity. So they obviously feel comfortable with it.
Well, we could see the Diablo that pairs pretty well with Kerrigan here, but we also could see Johanna. She's got really good wave clear, and I'm looking for wave clear here personally as the final pick.
It's got to be something for Snitch, because JPL will be on the thingy, so it'll be Zagara.
Yeah. Zagara makes no sense. Option, yeah.
I feel Sylvanas lends to... Her strengths lend more to this map than Zagara does. Zagara's not a bad pick. I think it's just a more comfort pick.
Yeah.
For Snitch.
Yeah. And once again, no Zool.
I'm pretty sure he was removed from the game in Europe because I have no idea what's going on this weekend.
He's actually allowed in this tournament, guys.
He's been banned a few times, but he has not really been picked. We saw Maya Sandy played on this map a Zool and Sylvanas composition, but in this case, they're just going to run with the comfort pick of Snitch, as you mentioned, the Zagara. And she does have decent wave clear. She's a decent solo laner, but doesn't have that same pushing power as Sylvanas or Zool.
Yeah, that's just...
Kerrigan's there. You need somebody to help deal with it. And there's a reason why when he was banned out, it was against the Kerrigan. I mean, there's a really good reason. There's a good reason that like most regions will first ban Zool on this map.
Yeah.
But these guys, I think they know that, hey, I know they're not going to pick it. I'm not going to pick it. Let's just go with something else.
Almost like a gentleman's agreement.
I'm done talking about Zool, though, but Dignitas, from what they've put together, it looks pretty amazing once again.
Now, there's a big exclamation mark over that Kerrigan. Do you think that Team Liquid has enough counters to keep that Kerrigan in check, guys?
Nah.
No, not really.
I don't think so. The way Jay played it before, and I've seen him play time and time again, I don't think he's going to miss the mark. He's going to hit the combos. He doesn't even need Blade Torrent level 16 to continue on those combos as affluently as he has before. He will still hit 3-man combos, and it will still work fabulously.
But I think the one thing that you can look at outside of Diablo this time, you can land a power slide a little bit easier than you can try and get in range with Diablo. So I think that if you can land the power slide, you can get in with Greymane, you can get in with Tychus. Yes, I think that they have the possibility.
There's a lot of ifs, though, right?
But there's ifs on all the sides. This is Heroes of the Storm, man. There's always going to be an if. I love it.
Yeah, J-Ho, prediction number 2 for this best of 5.
There's no if on what my prediction is. Dignitas.
Wolf.
I'm going to have to say I'm digging Dignitas here.
Oh, yeah, loving it.
I'm sorry I betrayed you last game, boys. Dignitas all the way. We're back on the Great Britain hype train.
And who am I to disagree with my fellow analysts here? Because I really think Dignitas played so well in that very first game, and Team Liquid, they looked really, really disoriented, I might want to say. So without further ado, guys, it is time to get into game number 2 here in this second semifinal here. Best of 5, so interesting, so exciting. Let's move it over to the casters. It's going to be once again Grubby and Tetcher.
The lamentations of a broken Kalaris there. He put his trust in the Angels, and unfortunately they betrayed him. But there are no Angels in this match, so we have a very biased caster desk with this lineup.
Dignitas has seen fit to that, removing Tyrael, and there won't be no Tyrael there to stop the Kerrigan combo from ever hitting. In fact, I don't see a whole lot either to stop Kerrigan in this game.
Neither. So let's have a look at the team that could be in some serious trouble now. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the right-hand side, it is Team Liquid. And playing for them, we have ETC, played by Athero, Tassadar, played by Shad. In the top lane, we are going to have Karazim, played by Gerard, Tychus, played by Sport Billy, and Greymane, played by Chris. Whereas on the right-hand side, it is Team Dignitas, with Zagara, played by Snitch, Anubrak, played by Alex. Lower down, Rhaegar, played by Bakery, Kael'thas, played by Maina, and Kerrigan by JPL. And for now, we're going to see no one moving into lanes and getting caught, Clubby.
I was just thinking, is it strictly necessary to always contest Dignitas, or in general, to always go immediately towards the other side of the map? Like, must you click the core right away? And we see more of a level of reservation here from Team Liquid, and I'm glad to see that. Now, I can't help but think that there's some kind of love relationship with Tychus and Sport Billy and Team Liquid. They take him in situations where I would never think to see him appear. And I can't help but extract myself from the sinking feeling that Tychus couldn't stop Kerrigan in the StarCraft campaign. And I don't think he can stop her here.
There was a Reyna involved in that quite a bit, and there is no Reyna in this game. There was very nearly a Reyna in the last series.
They fell out.
They did fall out. They are just too different to really get along anymore in Heroes. For now, though, just seeing rotations from Team Liquid and Dignitas. Neither one, though, putting themselves in any particular danger. But there's the jump from JPL from a minion to a Tassadar, but the good dimensional shift keeps Shad alive.
Yeah, he's just flexing his wings, really. I mean, usually when you jump on Tassadar, you can just do a sweeping grasp and just save the mana on the Impaling Blades because you give the respect that the opponent is definitely going to use dimensional shift. You save some mana, and the opponent cannot know whether you did Impaling anyway, but JPL, he wanted to go for it just in case Shot couldn't find the E button to go into invisibility, the other realm.
There's always the chance if a player is just that slight bit slow or just that slight bit distracted, checking out where a teammate is, whether they need to roam. But for now, we do see Shad very easily able to react to it. And Zagara, very far back in the top lane, currently still clearing before joining her team, trying to give Team Liquid that level 4, whereas Shad on that Tassadar doing the same in the mid lane for Team Liquid, clearing out minions, looking for that 4, which Dig will still get first.
Yeah, the cool thing, though, is that Dig did it as 4 people. They give up 10 skeletons, but they get level 4 just a second earlier, which allowed them an opportunity, which, by the way, didn't get capitalized on, an opportunity to get a kill. But TL, they held their own, and now it's a full-blown fight over the skeletons. Keep in mind that only 40 out of 40 skeletons will give any value at all.
Done, though! In comes the gravity left into the pull, and wow, Gerd able to not escape. JBL with the chase. Alex gets out. Chris being chased while stealth. He's revealed. He gets knobbed by Bakery. And, well, that's 3 kills in less minutes than there are in the game.
Well, there was 20 HP on the Nubarak. Though, even if he had died, it would have still been 3 for Dig, and that is a pretty big result.
Yeah, that was an incredible gravity lapse into a great pull by Kerrigan. Just this full stun train. And this is exactly what we're scared of. And now Dignitas 4-man pushing with that Punisher, while Nubarak soaks the lanes to get them even more ahead. And Team Liquid, this is very familiar to the last game. One situation turns it. This one just happened earlier.
Yeah, well, I can't help but feel that we've got one side is... I mean, they're fighting with tools here that if Dignitas does everything correctly, they will hit the stuns. There are no tools to disengage to stop the stuns, especially in the early game. There's no cleanse yet. That if Dignitas plays perfectly, they will get those kills, unless Team Liquid decides not to contest anything. And it's maybe if you just take the slider bar of their level and you just down 20% on both sides, it will be perfectly fine to play a draft like this. But Dignitas has evolved themselves in the last year to a level that doesn't allow for such things to happen anymore, it seems. Now, this is not a eulogy yet. The game is going on, but that's a pretty solid lead for so early on.
Yeah, and it's looking similar to the last game where Dignitas are just playing a little bit better than Team Liquid. They see the opportunity, they capitalize on it, and then Team Liquid can't come back. And now we see a possible another kill. No, this time, Gerd is able to keep Athero alive. Athero completely fine. He will have guitar solo. He will have Gerd to continue healing him. And they will be able to look for other opportunities. Not able to grab Bakery, though. That Wolf Run saving his life there. And they turn it onto Athero once again.
Well, Power Slide is not up, so Athero has no escape. They try to capitalize on that. Team Dignitas will not be able to get him. And this is going to be a full disengage by both teams.
Yeah, very nicely microed by Athero into there. And they turned a lot of damage onto JPL in that, too.
In the meantime, Mene got away with 20 HP against Chris in the bottom lane. Very, very close calls here. It seems like Lady Luck is shining on Dignitas today. Of course, the level lead definitely will have made that difference. 20 HP, 1 level difference, you'd be dead.
Oh, yeah, that would have easily been a kill for Chris there. So, nicely traded. Greymane pretty good. If you make a single mistake, he will punish you and drop you very quickly.
Sure, yeah. Now, we're saying a lot about how Dignitas is taking control of this game. What would we need from Team Liquid to get back into this game? We're really going to need some wonderful mosh pits, perhaps.
Yep, definitely. Mosh pit is going to be viable. They could even maybe combine it with Forceful 7-sided strike if they can maybe use ETC with the extra knockback range, which they have taken, combine that with the extra knockback slow on the level 13, but they have a lot of XP to go for that.
I'm not sure if that's safe against such an actually small, helpful
Nothing's safe
team.
against Dignitas.
What's that?
Nothing's safe against Dignitas.
No, that's true. Nothing is safe in love and war.
Nothing's safe, Chris. Nothing's safe. Nice dive by Chris there, actually, using his wolf dive to get to a minion to dodge out the stun of Alex.
Yeah, we're going to need that all the time. We're also going to need Tychus in big team fights to have a relatively open position so that he can kind of use his running gun prematurely to dodge these kind of Kerrigan stuns.
Yeah, Bakery drop low. Once again, though, that wolf run, that extra speed, really helping him get the positioning correct so he doesn't get caught out and get put in some serious danger. So, very cool to see here. Dignitas setting up
level 10. And keep in mind for the move, that was a bit of a funny barrel charge. Keep in mind that JPL might be able to jump in before the gate is even down, if there were any defenders here. That's the kind of thing you can do when you have the level 10.
Yeah, they just, and because of that level 10, Team Liquid, they're like, well, we can't stop you taking this, so we're just going to go and soak XP to get our level 10 so we can actually defend at our tier 2s.
This is where in Hero League, ETC solo defense and then
dies.
pings all his allies madly, like, why aren't you defending this? Well, if there is a tidal wave, try to swim with it. Don't try to stop it yet. Wait till it breaks upon the beach.
Yeah, good advice on surfing by Krabby in a hero stream here. But for now,
Heroes of the Storm is just like surfing, don't you think?
I've not been surfing, I wouldn't know, actually.
Neither have I. But I imagine.
Okay, so the Punisher's been pulled into the base, into in between the two keeps. Athero cleansed, but the mosh pit hits no one, so instead of just trying to separate people, but Athero gets dropped down with the damage. Sport Billy in retreat, drops the laser, but the Maw is too good. Shad does not escape. JPL with the damage. Gerd dies too, drops the bottom to Sport Billy. And Dignitas continuing to tear up the game.
Yeah, right before Gerd died, he gave the kiss of fire to Sport Billy, putting him out of action as well. One of those typical power slide in and click mosh pit no matter where you end up, but also great kudos to Team Dignitas. They spread like the sea before a whirlpool, I suppose.
Team Liquid looking for some punishment here, but they're pushing it as 3 into a 5-man Dignitas. The rest of their team was on their way behind them, but it wouldn't have taken too much for a Kerrigan to turn around and just maybe pick someone off here.
I'll tell you what, Thatcher, I didn't know it was a thing, a normal thing, to get keeps between 5 to 9 minutes. I've seen it before from veritable, almost demigods, Korean players, but...
I agree, we do sometimes see keeps this early, but not usually in the semi-finals of a regional finals.
Yeah, and we keep saying the level is very close of a lot of European teams, and to a degree that's true, but Dignitas, they've said it before, they have an ambition for the global finals. Some mockery was made when they were only able to get top 6 at a previous event, but now they're showing up in full force, and they're really showing that they're forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah, JPL continuing to just bounce around the map like a rabbit, just tearing up all the minions, all the
I have rabbits, can confirm, they bounce.
Can confirm JPL rabbit.
Yeah, and the happier they are, the more they bounce, in fact. So that makes JPL a pretty happy player right now.
A bit like Tickers, in fact.
What's that?
You have not seen Winnie the Pooh, have you?
No, I haven't.
Fair enough. So for now,
I will do my research. I need to be ready for these casts.
For now, we do see Team Liquid once again getting sieged, but they are all grouped up this time, and with Mosh back in less than a second, now back up. They have potential to make a last-ditch effort, because they're too far away from level 13 to really wait. So if Dignitas had stayed around, they would have probably just made the play, but because Dignitas, they're not having that. They've already pulled back to safer Kazaros.
You know what's the best thing about this game being slightly one-sided, just like the last one? It makes a third game with Medivh more plausible.
This is true, like the last chance Medivh from Team Liquid. It's possible all the Dignitas going...
Not from Team Liquid, from Dignitas, to flaunt your dominance.
But if you've got to flaunt dominance, I can think of better heroes than Medivh.
Yeah.
The Chromie dominance, I think, is good. The Abathur dominance, just send it into the enemy base at the end and dance.
Well, let's just focus on this game for now, I suppose. Next Punisher, once again, going to Team Dignitas. JPL doing that all by himself, and it goes so fast.
Yeah. Team Liquid, though, not giving up without a fight. They know they are in trouble, but they're making moves to try and just mitigate all of this. They could be so much more behind if they hadn't gone for these split pushes a lot of the time. But Dignitas, taking advantage as well. It's like, oh, you're all top, and we're grabbing the Punisher anyway. Well, I guess we'll just take all your bot towers as well. So we just get two for one thing.
Wow, look at that bunny hop from JPL. Beautiful move there. Of course, the cleanse on a Thorough Angel, but that means that the next one will hit its mark. Tychus can't do much against Kerrigan.
He gets shielded, but Shad was not able to shield him again because he was in Dimensional Shift. So low health on the members of Liquid here. Shad doing everything he can. It's so brutal. They're trying to push through. Punisher taking down the keep. And it's 3 members alive to 5. Punisher with just under half health at this point. Level 16 hit for Dignitas. They're moving on to the core, Grubby.
Team Dignitas is playing out of their mind. Nearly everything is perfection. They're painting an artwork here in Liquid's blood.
Yeah, Nathero, last chance, Mosh to try and save the game with Gerd. Tychus is back for the damage. They're trying to get Snitch. He singled Mosh is Snitch. They try to take him down.
No, not even that.
Ancestral saves him, and it's GG. And Dignitas takes game number 2 in consistent and convincing fashion there. Wow.
Unbelievable the level we see coming out of these guys. They're making it look easy. And in fact, the more you make something look easy, usually the less easy your practice was. It is the mark of a master to make something look effortless when you're going up against what is a very strong Team Liquid, actually. And we may not be seeing the best games out of Team Liquid, but it's who you're up against. Yesterday, we saw a rising line of performance from Team Liquid. And here they are.
Yeah, they are here, and we thought they could be a team to contest against Team Dignitas here, but Team Dignitas, they're back. From the series we saw earlier, they said openly that they made mistakes. They went down second in their group, but now they've come back. They look confident, they feel confident, and Jesus Christ, do they look incredibly strong.
Yeah, completely not allowing for any chance for Team Liquid to get back. Even the first successful mosh pit on a single Zagara, getting Ancestral healing out, getting saved, and securing that 11-minute and 25-second victory.
We broke the streak of 10-0s though, only a 9-0 this time. Unfortunately, not able to get that and not able to get the one.
There wasn't enough time.
No, it came too quickly. But for now, we're going to send it back over to the analysis desk where they could talk about that game and how can anyone stop Team Dignitas, guys?